Thingkho Le Malcha, by KSO Media and Documentation Cell, issue number 57, Tuesday, 7 November, 2023. Headlines: Meitei militants resume attacking Kookie villages, at least 10 Meitei armed militia sustained injuries in retaliatory fires. KOTU serves 24 hours ultimatum to trace 5 missing Kizo. Tribal body condemns abduction of Kizo civilians by Meitei militant group. Kooki NP Tangle decries state-sponsored genocide campaign, clarifies on wild allegation against more youth leader. 5 village volunteers apprehended, womenfolk storm AR post, 17 women sustained injuries. Attacking spree in Imphal spares none, not even VIPs. Union HM Amit Shah failed to honor his promise, ITLF. After surviving Manipur riots, Kookie students determined to renew life in Kerala's Kannur. Has Baron destroyed Meitei's 1,000-year civilization? Thingkho Le Malcha, Relief Center update. B. Salvafai Relief Center, Thingkho Le Malcha. Managed by Young Vifei Association, YVA, General Headquarters. Total inmates registered, 118. Male, 52. Female, 66. Kookie victims update as on October 16, 2023. Deaths, 146. Villages burnt, 200 plus. Houses burnt, 7,000 plus. Churches and synagogues burnt, 360. Displaced persons, 41,425. Meitei militants resume attacking Kookie villages, at least 10 Meitei armed militia sustained injuries in retaliatory fires. Multiple incidents of firing occurred today along the buffer zones in various locations of Kaengpokpi district. After sufficient rests, the Meitei radical youths or Baron's alleged private militia have resumed their attacks to the Kizo inhabited areas in the periphery of the Death Valley of Imphal. The firing incidents are reported from Mapho Kookie village, Kangchup, Tingkai and Harathal areas of Kaengpokpi district. Mapho Kookie was once again attacked today after more than half of the village was burnt previously by the Meitei militants. The gunfire started at about 9:30 in the morning and lasted for about 3 hours when the central security personnel could finally thwart the attack and thus prevented the Meitei militants from looting and burning the remaining houses and properties of the village. In another incident, a bolero carrying 5 people from Lamka's Bokut village on their way to El Faijong, Kaengpokpi for a family function lost their way and traveled towards a Meitei locality, where they were greeted and later reportedly killed by a Meitei mob. It is reported that one of the passenger Mongluan Haokip, 65, H/O Nankim Haokip of Bokut village, left to die, was rescued by the Assam Rifles and admitted to a hospital in critical condition. It is further reported that he was airlifted to a neighboring state for further medical treatment. The other passengers are identified as 1. Nankim Haokip, 60, W/O Mongluan Haokip, Bokut village, 2. Nilam Haokip W/O Ginkai Haokip, Limanai Kookie village, 3. Jamkathang Langhal H/O Tingnilam Langhal, eldest daughter of Mongluan Haokip, Mongjang village, 4. Thangjalam Haokip, Bokut village. There has been no official report, till the time of writing this, on whether these individuals are alive or dead. Their whereabouts are still unknown. Upon hearing the news, tribal volunteers reportedly opened blank fires which was responded in kind by the Meitei groups, which further escalated the tension. Reports suggest that at least 10 people from the Meitei community sustained injuries in the ensuing gunfight and hospitalized at Rims and Raj Medicity in Imphal. Details are now awaited from Manipur government on what sort of actions will be taken on this matter, and will there be a combing operation along the Kangchup-Chingkong areas for a search and rescue operation of these missing persons? Or will the government once again remain silent as the missing persons in this case are not from the Meitei community? Selective deliverance of justice has been the norm in this new Manipur, and the lives of a certain group holds more value to the government. Will the Manipur government proves itself to be a government for all community this time, or once again be the government of Meitei community only like in the past few months? Incidents of firing was also reported from Harathal in Kaengpokpi at around the same time when firing occurred at Kangchup, and again at around 5 to 6 p.m. in the evening. The Meitei militants reportedly fired towards the Kookie villages at intervals. However, there has been no reports of casualty among the villagers. Another incident of gunfight between the radicalized Arambai Tangle militant and the Kookie volunteers reportedly occurred in Tingkai area of Ajjang village today afternoon. However, there has been no report of casualty. Such incidents of firing occurred at the buffer zones whenever and wherever the Meitei Arambai Tangle and Meitei Lipun fancies it. The Meitei radicalized youths, using their looted government weapons and vehicles, carry out attacks to the otherwise half-burnt Kookie villages along the vicinity of the 700 square kilometers while claiming to be village defenders and victimizing themselves to the national and international media. KOTU serves 24 hours ultimatum to trace 5 missing Kizo. The Committee on Tribal Unity Sadar Hills Kaengpokpi served a 24-hour ultimatum to the concerned authorities to trace the 5 missing Kizo to be brought back safe and sound. The missing Kizo, members of a wedding party are Mongluan Haokip, 65, son of Haokip of Bokut village and his wife Nankim, 60, Nilam Haokip, 55, wife of Ginkai Haokip of Limanai Kookie, John Thangjalam Haokip, 25, son of T. Paoboy Haokip of Bokut village and Jamkathang Hanghal, 40, son of Semkaho Hanghal of Mongjang village. Speaking to the media, KOTU's media cell coordinator, Ng Luan Kipjen said that the Committee on Tribal Unity is constrained to serve a 24-hour ultimatum to the concerned authorities to find the five missing members of a wedding party who had sojourned from Kangchup Chingkong were waylaid by the Meitei Arambai Tangle to be brought back to their families, failing which the Committee on Tribal Unity will not responsible for any untoward incidents arising out of it. He also said that it is pertinent to mention that 2 Arambai Tangle who had crossed the buffer zone on November 5 at Kanglatongbi were supposedly kidnapped by the village volunteer force was concocted narration to tarnish the image of the Kizo community. However, he said that the Kizo community gave support and cooperation in the search and combined operations taken under the Kangpokpi SP and 22 Assam rifles in the areas. The Committee on Tribal Unity, therefore, appeals to every other community not to fan hatred and animosity by ill-conceived narration without proof. Tribal body condemns abduction of Kizo civilians by Meitei militant group. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, has condemned the abduction of 4 Kizo civilians by radicalized Arambai Tangle group near Kangchup Chingkong village, Kangpokpi district on Tuesday. In another despicable act, 4 middle-aged Kizo civilians including 2 women were abducted today by Meitei militant group Arambai Tangle near Kangchup Chingkong village in Kangpokpi district of Manipur, ITLF said in a statement. On hearing the news, angry tribal volunteers at the front line fired at the Meitei side, resulting in a firefight. There were reports of several injuries among the Meitei community. ITLF stated that 5 tribal civilians were traveling towards El Faijiang village when they were accosted by gunmen. In the ensuing scuffle, 65-year-old Mongluan Haokip from Bokut village got injured and fell unconscious. Thinking him to be dead, he was left behind. CRPF personnel later found him and transported him to Limakong. Due to the severity of his injuries, he has been airlifted to a neighboring state. 2 women, Nankim, 60, from Bokut and Nilam, 55, from Limanai, and 2 men, John Thangjalam Haokip, 25, from Bokut and Jamkathang, 40, from Mongjang, were taken captives by the Arambai Tangle after the incident. The Arambai Tangle chief Korangamba Kuman shared a post on social media stating, "Today some domestic wild animal, has been brought to the zoo." The tribal forum said it feared that they might have been killed or were being tortured. It fervently requested the Central Security Forces to immediately launch an operation to rescue them. Kookie NP decries state-sponsored genocide campaign, clarifies on wild allegation against More Youth leader. The Kookie NP has expressed its deep concern about the Meitei-led state government which is openly calling out and instigating the state police commandos and its radicalized armed groups to annihilate the Kizo Indian tribes. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the Kookie apex body decried the unwarranted deployment of the police commandos in Moore Hill town and the ensuing destruction and affliction to the public resulting in serious physical, mental and emotional impact on the common men, women and children, thereby threatening their safety and security. This senseless and outrageous attacks on the lives and properties of the indigenous Kizo inhabitants have again proven the terrorist nature of the state leadership to further its genocide campaign on the Kizo tribes, KIT said. The Kookie NP also expressed its profound gratitude to the 5 Assam Rifles and all the Central Security Forces for their relentless effort to prevent human casualties and also maintaining law and order in Tangnupal district. The Assam Rifles, as the oldest and one of the most decorated paramilitary forces, has shown great sympathy and exemplary actions again in this conflict which we believe will never go in vain, it said. The KIT appealed the law enforcing agencies including all the security forces to understand the sentiment of the tribals who are threatened and victimized in their own land. Meanwhile, in response to the wild allegations leveled on its member and the president of More Youth Club, MYC, Mr. Philip K. Kongsai, a resident of New Moore of Moore Town, by one Sahongsmu in connection with the death of SDPO Moore, Mr. Chingtham Anand Kumar, the Kookie NP said the allegation against Philip Kongsai was baseless and uncalled for as he has nothing to do with the incident. After a fact-checking, KIT said, it is found that an individual who operates a Facebook account by the name of Sahongbam first uploaded a post saying Chingtham Anand Kumar was killed by Philip Kongsai with a sniper shot. The Samni was also published by some vernacular newspapers blindly. The Facebook account operator also uploaded Mr. Kongsai and his family photos. The said Facebook account Ahongsm was created on July 22, 2014 with username Surjit A. Singha who had his username changed 7 times between July 22, 2014 and May 19, 2022 finally in the name of A.S. Singha. The said Facebook account owner had been uploading many hate speeches/comments against the Kizo people. It is crystal clear that the Facebook account operator had evil motives to tarnish the image of KIT and the Kookie tribes of Thingkho. It said that Mr. Philip Kongsai is an Indian Army veteran who proudly served his country for over 20 years in the Assam Regiment. Post-retirement, Mr. Kongsai devoted most of his time to create a drug-free society and healthy living among the youths of Moor through games and sports. He is also an invaluable member of the Ex-Servicemen Welfare Association Thingkho District, SWAT. Kit asked, on what basis the said Facebook account operator accused its member, also a retired Indian Army, over the unfortunate incident of SDPO Moor without any proof. Was it a deliberate game plan to tarnish the image of Philip K. Kongsai and KIT? It clarified that the allegations against Mr. Philip Kongsai is baseless and uncalled for as he has nothing to do with the incident. 5 village volunteers apprehended, womenfolk storm AR post, 17 women sustained injuries. The personnel of 46 Assam Rifles Kuga Battalion posted along the Tidam Road near Mata have apprehended 5 village volunteers today. The village volunteers were coming from Singat for routine duty at the frontline areas. They were apprehended without any reason and rhyme by the security personnel who were on duty at 46 AR check post at Mata village. On hearing about the unwarranted arrest, womenfolk from Lamka town stormed the said AR check post. Demanding the unconditional release of all the arrested village volunteers, womenfolk stormed the AR check post in a bid to rescue the village volunteers. The womenfolk also tried to dismantle the AR check post which was erected along the Tidam Road. The AR personnel at the check post, in their attempt to thwart away the womenfolk, resorted to using lathi charge, injuring many women in the process. After a minor scuffle between the AR personnel and the womenfolk, the arrested village volunteers were released unconditionally by the Assam Rifles. In the melee, around 17 women sustained injuries due to high-handedness of Central Security Forces. The injured individuals were later admitted to Churachandpur District Hospital for medical treatment. TLM views, the naivety of the Central Security Forces including the Assam Rifles is appalling. The village volunteers who were on their way to frontline areas for routine duty with cartouche/single barrel were arrested without any reason and rhyme, while many of the Arambai Tangle, who openly flaunt sophisticated weapons and directly threatening Central Security Forces in Imphal, were never apprehended by the security forces. According to the Central Security Forces, flaunting sophisticated arms and terrorizing people seems legit to them. Attacking spree in Imphal spares none, not even VIPs. The residential gate of Mayang Imphal ACMLA Konkam Robindro was attacked by unidentified armed miscreants on Monday night at around 9:30 p.m. The attack was reportedly captured by a CCTV camera. Footage shows unknown armed miscreants who came in a car opened fire at the residential gate. At the time of the incident, the MLA was reportedly at his official quarters in Imphal. Mayang Imphal police station has registered a case. An hour later at 10:30 p.m., unknown armed miscreants attacked the residence of the director of Jawaharlal Institute of Medical Sciences, Professor Lashram Deban, located at Kakwa Sim Laikai in Imphal. The miscreants reportedly shot about 10 rounds of bullets. No injuries have been reported in these incidents. It may be recalled that during the past few months, there has been many instances of an individual attacked by armed miscreants. The Imphal Valley has been living under fierce psychosis and reign of terror perpetrated by certain radicalized group is evident from all these mindless shooting. Notably, the notorious radical group Meitei Lipans chief Mingbum Pramit Singh also came under attack from unidentified armed assailants on November 3 morning at around 7:30 a.m. The incident reportedly occurred at Langal under Lamphel Police Station in Imphal West District when Pramit and his driver were heading for a meeting at Meitei Lipan office in Langal. Union HM Amit Shah failed to honor his promise, ITLF. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, has said the trust that the Kookie people have placed in the center government has been waning day by day, and suggested the BJP government that it was time to put electoral political considerations aside and look at the humanitarian toll. When the majority community that controls the state government is trying to eliminate the minority tribal population, it is the duty of the central government to safeguard the rights and lives of the true victims of this conflict, ITLF said in a statement on Tuesday. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, stated that when it tried to bury martyrs killed in Manipur's ethnic conflict on August 3, the Home Ministry had requested the tribal leaders to postpone the mass burial for a week to sort out all issues. We agreed in good faith. After 4 months, none of our demands have been met, including the return of our dead bodies lying in morgues in the Imphal Valley, it said. When the ITLF met Home Minister Amit Shah in Delhi, the tribal leaders demanded the removal of Meitei state forces in all hill districts. ITLF said the minister disregarded their request but promised that he would not allow state forces to be deployed independently and they would only act in conjunction with central forces in hill areas. Recent events have shown that this is not being followed in letter or spirit. The tribal forum alleged that while the killing of a tribal police officer by a Meitei sniper did not evoke any response from the state or central government, the death of a Meitei police officer is being used as an excuse to terrorize Kookie civilians living in Moor Town and other villages in Thingkho district. Meitei commandos are being given a free hand to assault civilians and burn down houses. Vehicles are set ablaze and money looted from homes, it added. ITLF asked, what are the Central Forces doing? In a conflict between Meiteis and tribals, why are Meitei forces allowed to conduct operations among tribals? What is preventing the central government from deploying neutral Central Forces among the tribal population? Meanwhile, militant Meitei groups like Arambai Tangle are releasing videos where they are openly brandishing sophisticated weapons looted from state armories and urging their cadres to attack Kizo tribals. No action has been taken against them by security forces or investigating agencies like the CBI and NIA. ITLF reiterated that Kizo people need a separate administration to live apart from those who want the tribal's destruction. After surviving Manipur riots, Kookie students determined to renew life in Kerala's Kannur. Having started life afresh in Kannur, 34 students belonging to the Kookie community are beginning to dream high again. This unexpected transformation is beyond their wildest expectations, having had to go through a torrid time in relief camps in riot-torn Manipur. Amid the uncertainty, they could hardly think about their studies. The only prayer was to survive the riots. Providing a ray of hope, the Kookie Students Organization got in touch with various universities across the country, looking for higher study opportunities for students affected by the violence. Kannur University was the first institution that came forward to offer an opportunity for studies to us, says Gulumman Haokip, the education secretary of the Kookie Students Organization. So far, 120 Kookie students have reached Kerala. Of them, 34 students have been accommodated in various colleges and departments under the Kannur University. We have received information on the arrival of 2 more students from Manipur. We expect them to reach here in the coming days, says Nafisa Baby, the director of student services at the Kannur University. The 25-year-old Haokip says a situation in Manipur continues to be bad. The parents of almost all the students studying in Kerala have been rendered jobless. The houses of many of us were burnt down in the riot. We are lucky to be alive and more than lucky to be able to continue our studies here, thanks to the great gesture of humanity by Kannur University, he says. Nafisa expressed happiness that many colleges have come forward to provide space for these students from Manipur. As the university doesn't have the funds to provide financial assistance to these students, only colleges that are ready to bear the expenses relating to education, hostel, and food can accommodate these students. But many colleges came forward to accommodate them, she points out. As many students had come straight from relief camps, they didn't have their original documents with them. So, the university has given them time to produce the documents before the completion of the course, Nafisa says. Haokip says conversations about the Manipur riots should not stop in Kerala. We want the elite society of Kerala to discuss it more and more. Though we, the students, are safe here in Kerala, we are very much concerned about the lives of our parents, he says. As grateful as they are to their benefactors regarding their education, many of the Kookie students continue to face financial problems to meet their needs. More than 6 weeks have passed after they joined various courses at Kannur University. We can't ask for more. Still, it is tough going, Haokip says. A third-year LLB student at the Manjeshwar Law College in Kasaragod terms unfortunate the allegations leveled against them from some quarters that they are using the money generated from Kerala to procure arms to add fire to the violence in Manipur. This is baseless and we ask the people to show some humanitarian consideration before leveling such unfounded and biased allegations against us, he says. Though they carry the frightful memories of their riot-torn homeland, the Kookies are determined to go back to their homes once they finish their studies in this friendly place, Haokip added. Source, The New Indian Express. Has Biren destroyed Meitei's 1,000-year civilization? Meiteis have been a community that love art, culture, sports, etc., and they can be compared to the Bengalis in this aspect. Manipuri dance is appreciated throughout the country, and Meitei cinema perhaps has no rival in the northeast, with the Assamese film industry coming closest to it. The Meiteis often allege that they belong to a 1,000-year civilization and they take great pride in it. However, the events that has unfolded since May 3, 2023, has exposed the fundamental foundations of the Meitei society, and it has been found shockingly hollow, immoral and depraved. Is it because it didn't have a foundation, a moral compass or a point of reference? Has it been a process, or is it because of that one man Biren who has orchestrated the mayhem that is to blame, which led men to act in such abominable heights? Let's look at some points. When the conflict started on May 3, Biren Singh's government first allowed a fake news of Meitei girls being raped in Lamka go viral. Once the IT cells have done enough damage, they shut the internet, making it impossible for the people to know the truth. When the father of the Meitei girl who was allegedly raped spoke up to deny it, much damage was already done. Secondly, when Meitei goons ransacked Kookie houses in Imphal, what was shocking was the wanton loot of property, including beds, mattresses, and washing machines. While thieves are found in all societies, the country saw a different side of the Meitei community when even respectable-looking mothers were carrying looted goods in the loss. Rape cases and naked parading by the most loathsome youths is sometimes seen from some North Indian states. That a community, including respectable men and women, would parade girls naked with men taking turns to grope them and rape them is unheard of in Northeast India. That women of a particular community would ask men to rape other women is the most filthy, undetestable and nauseating actions that no community on earth has ever heard of. While casualties do happen in war, including non-combatants, the fact that a mentally challenged woman who wasn't even aware what was happening was murdered in the heart of Imphal speaks for itself. What kind of society Imphal Valley has become. With what face will Meitei women ever face the people of India when they complain of Indian Army's atrocities upon their women? That the community tried to harm whoever spoke up some sane words from within is a testament of a society that is falling apart. In the last 5 years, there was not even one Meitei intellectual to speak some sane words and highlight counter-narrative historical truths, even as a episcopal politician was spewing venom. It shows the intellectual poverty of a community that claim a 1,000-year civilization. One day, this war will end, but pity the men who have to grow up in such a society where narratives are changed every day, like one changes clothes, where the head lies and the hands shake machete, where the dead counts are hidden, where the affluent and high class incites the peripheral lowlies to war, where women bears their all in the forefront to hide the effeminateness of their men, where lying is worshipped and beheading is trumpeted. Thank God, I wouldn't have to live in such a society, and I know that deep down, those Meitei still holding on to their still small conscience would be ashamed of what has happened to their proud civilization. What their forefathers built for 1,000 years is brought to ruin by someone from within whose hunger of power might shame the Burmese invaders of 1819. Such a man is a curse for any community, and his worshippers are the greatest enemy of their own kind. The tribe that they sought to eliminate came out of the jungles just a 100-year ago. Yet, they have showed resilience, their speech is more genuine, with their women herding together to give safe passage for Meiteis in Lamka and their men releasing 6 men that lost their way in Common They didn't rape, for it has not crossed their mind. That's what the light has done to change such headhunting savages to. Where a 1,000-year civilization crumbled and acted with much savagery, 100-year of the good news has shone bright and showed much war ethic even as they manned their defense line. A civilization based on lie, deceit and hatred will not stand. Only the truth shall set us free, and a civilization based on its tenets will surely prosper.